the quiet hills of Maryland, an eerie presence has haunted the skies for generations. Rooted deep in the region's German immigrant communities, the area's rolling hills and dense forests provide the perfect backdrop for sightings of a mysterious flying creature that terrorizes the skies. The creature is said to possess both sharp talons and an insatiable appetite, attacking both livestock and those who dare wander too close. Local lore has given it a name known to inspire dread: the Snallygaster. The Snallygaster is a legendary cryptid that has long been rumored to inhabit the hills and forests of Frederick County, Maryland. Descriptions of the creature vary, but it is most often depicted as a dragon-like beast, blending features of a bird and reptile. With a wingspan between 12 and 14 feet, it's said to have sharp talons and a metallic beak lined with razor-sharp teeth. Some accounts even describe it as having tentacle-like appendages that extend from its body, adding to its terrifying appearance. The Snallygaster's ability to swoop down upon its prey and emit high-pitched screeches makes it a formidable predator in local lore. The Snallygaster's origins are deeply intertwined with the cultural history of the region. Early German settlers in the 1730s referred to the creature as a schneller Geist, or quick ghost, possibly hinting at its ability to appear and disappear swiftly, much like a specter. Over the centuries, the Snallygaster evolved in local legend to represent not only a supernatural entity, but also a symbol of fear during times of uncertainty. Its image was invoked to deter trespassers or troublemakers, especially during the early 20th century, when rural areas of Maryland were grappling with moonshine operations and prohibition. Some even suggested that sightings of the creature were used as a form of social control, evoking a fear of the unknown to maintain order in the community. One of the earliest notable sightings of the Snallygaster occurred in the early 1900s, when a letter was published by T.C. Harbaugh in the Middletown Valley Register on February 12, 1909. Harbaugh described seeing a gigantic monster that was said to be terrorizing the Middletown Valley. This report sparked widespread panic, leading to a flood of sightings from across western Maryland. These early reports also included claims that the creature had laid an egg near Burkittsville, prompting fears that more of these beasts could be on the way. While some viewed these reports as a clever hoax aimed at keeping unwanted visitors away, the Snallygaster's legend grew rapidly, cementing its place in local folklore. In 1923, Charles Maine, a local ice cream business owner from Middletown, reportedly encountered the Snallygaster. Maine described a terrifying experience in which he saw a creature with a wingspan of 12 to 14 feet, adorned with tentacle-like appendages that extended from its body. This sighting was reported in a Cumberland newspaper, and Maine's detailed description lent a sense of authenticity to the legend. While skeptics dismissed the report, others believed that Maine had come face to face with the mythical beast that had been terrorizing the region for over a century. The last major reported sighting of the Snallygaster occurred in December 1932, when a story surfaced about its apparent death. According to reports published in the Hagerstown Morning Herald, the Snallygaster had been lured to a moonshine still in Washington County, where it was overcome by the noxious fumes and drowned in a vat of liquor. By the time authorities arrived, the alcohol had dissolved much of the creature's body, leaving only its bones, which were reportedly dynamited for reasons that remain unclear. While this incident was widely publicized, many believed it was fabricated to hide the operations of illegal moonshine stills during Prohibition. Theories about the Snallygaster's existence are varied. Some cryptozoologists suggest that the creature could be a misidentified bird of prey or a large owl, which would explain its ability to swoop down on unsuspecting victims. Others believe that it could be a relic species from prehistoric times, a dragon-like creature that survived in isolation. Skeptics, however, often point to the idea that the Snallygaster was a tool of social control used to scare off trespassers or ne'er-do-wells from rural areas. Its persistent appearance in times of social unrest or political tension suggests that the creature may have been invoked to explain or amplify fears surrounding other hidden dangers, such as moonshiners or even communist sympathizers during the mid-20th century. The Snallygaster's legend continues to capture the imagination of Marylanders to this day. Despite the lack of any physical evidence or recent sightings, the creature has become a cultural icon, representing the deep connection between folklore and community identity in the region. Whether a product of myth, a cryptid lurking in the shadows, or simply an elaborate hoax, the Snallygaster remains an enduring part of Maryland's rich tapestry of folklore. Its tale continues to be passed down, evolving and adapting to fit the times, just as it has done for centuries.
In the remote forests of Vietnam, stories circulate of elusive beings living deep within the jungle, their presence rarely witnessed by outsiders. While some consider these figures to be cryptids, others believe they are ancient communities of ethnic minorities who have chosen to live in harmony with nature. Their way of life, deeply connected to the forest, deserves respect and understanding rather than fear. These enigmatic forest dwellers, blending myth with reality, are known locally as the Nguoi Rung. The Nguoi Rung, or forest people, is a cryptid closely associated with Vietnam's remote highlands, and its legend carries different meanings depending on the cultural context of the groups who share these stories. Unlike Western concepts of ape-like creatures hidden in the forest, the people of Vietnam traditionally view these entities as spirit-like with a mythical presence. For the Jarai people, an ethnic group indigenous to the Central Highlands, the Nguoi Rung is seen as more than just a creature. It is part of the spiritual fabric of the natural world. The Jarai believe that the forests are inhabited by spirits, and the Nguoi Rung may represent one of these powerful entities existing in harmony with the land. Their oral traditions often emphasize respect for these beings, as they are believed to be guardians of the wilderness, reminding people to live in balance with nature. The Sedang people, another indigenous group from the highlands, have their own interpretation of the Nguoi Rung, though it is similarly rooted in respect for the natural world. For the Sedang, the Nguoi Rung may be viewed as a more ambiguous figure, representing the unknown aspects of the forest. Like the Jarai, the Sedang have a long history of coexistence with the land, and their stories about the Nguoi Rung reflect the idea that the forest is a place of both danger and sanctuary. The Nguoi Rung, as part of Sedang folklore, serves as a reminder of the deep mysteries of nature, beings that are neither fully human nor animal, existing beyond the bounds of ordinary life. However, it is possible that these cryptid legends originated from early encounters with real people, perhaps indigenous groups or isolated communities that were unfamiliar to the lowland populations. For many generations, certain ethnic minorities have lived in remote parts of Vietnam's forests, and these encounters might have been misunderstood or exaggerated, leading to the formation of the Nguoi Rung myth. As the forest grew more isolated from the rest of the country, these people became more mythologized, seen as part of the wild landscape. A modern parallel to this story can be found in the case of Ho Van Lang, who lived in the forest for over 40 years before being rescued and brought back into modern society. Lang's story raised important questions about whether such interventions were truly necessary. Many Vietnamese sympathized with him, believing that his life in the forest was peaceful and fulfilling. There were concerns that reintroducing him into modern society would be disruptive, taking away his connection to the forest and the life he had known for decades. This incident highlights the complex balance between cultural preservation and modernity, reflecting the need to respect those who choose a different path. For both the Jaray and Sedang people, the Nguoi Rung may serve as a symbol of these communities, individuals who live in harmony with nature and who should be respected rather than misunderstood. In a broader sense, the legend of the Nguoi Rung challenges outsiders to rethink their perceptions of the forest and its inhabitants. What might appear as mysterious or frightening to one group may be a way of life for another, and the respect for these choices is central to understanding the cultural significance of the Nguoi Rung. Ultimately, the Nguoi Rung is more than just a cryptid. It is a reflection of the diverse ways in which the Jaray, Sedang, and other ethnic groups in Vietnam view the world around them. The forest people represent both the unknown and the known, the mythical and the real, reminding us that respect for different ways of life is crucial, especially for those who choose to live in seclusion, connected to the natural world.